Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Boren from Livingston, Montana. Today I'm creating this video inside of my house here, and basically I've got no script. I know exactly what I want to say, but I'm not following any script, any text, anything, because I want to get this right from the heart. Okay, that's what I'm talking about here, from the heart, not any other way. But basically what this movie file is about, and please don't click out, is a couple of Benchmade knives that I got recently. Here's the box that they come in. I'll be talking about these boxes a little bit later. But yeah, these are very nice knives. You're not going to hear me cussing them a lot because that's just not the way this show is going to go. So I'll get off of here and get on to the next scene. Okay, and thank you very much for watching the video thus far. Howdy again, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let me just state this much. It is getting towards the end of May. I forgot to look at the date when I fired up this camera of mine, but it's towards the end of May. Anyway, I hope you folks are having a nice spring and summer. And I live up here in Montana where we get a lot of freak snowstorms, but we're getting by okay here. Anyway, I haven't got anything memorized. Most of the stuff I know by heart anyway, but I do have a cheat sheet here to help me out. Okay, I'm going to be talking about two models of knives from Benchmade. They're called Adiras. A-D-I-R-A, Adira. You've got a Mini Adira, which is a 18065. That's the number of the model. And then you've got a bigger Adira, and that's a 18060. I got a little ahead of myself there. But anyway, like I say, I've got basically what I would call 12 selling points on these sheets right here, but I am no salesman. If you had to rely on me to be a salesman in your store, more than likely you'd probably go broke. But I just want to say this. Look, the name Benchmade has been bashed all over hell and back, so to speak. I realize that Benchmade had some problems a few years ago, but I think that those days are behind Benchmade. I got in these Adira knives, and believe you me, I was really, really excited because I really, really liked what I was seeing. And that's what I'm trying to convey here. Not all this technical jazz, you can read that for yourself. This is mostly to let you know what I think about these Benchmade knives. Now dig this. I've been handling knives for 60 years. That's 60. 60 years, over a half a century. And I built 3 knives in my day, handmade 3 knives. I kind of know what I'm talking about, kind of. The way that this cutlery market, this knife environment's got anymore, man, I'm telling you, I've had a raised eyebrow for many years. Now, what I've got to say here real quick, is personally myself, I've been looking for a company to get behind, so I can stop foolishly spending money, trying to collect these knives. Okay, you follow me? Okay, Benchmade, those people don't even know me. They don't even know I'm making this video. I'm probably not going to get any money for this. Or probably not. I know I'm not. And I'm not looking for any endorsement or anything like that, but I am looking for a company to get behind, if you will. And why not an American company? I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I believe in the good old U.S. of A., even though they pretty much screwed us Vietnam veterans around. I got to say that, but the heart and soul of America is what I'm talking about. And I would rather get behind a knife company here in the United States than somewhere over in blah blah land, over in, like China or somewhere. Now look, I'm not trying to be racial here. The Chinese make some good knives and everything, But I want to get behind BenchMade. It's as simple as that. If they appreciate what I'm doing here, fine. And if they don't, fine, you know, whatever. But let me see, what am I going to do here? Oh, first thing I want to do is these boxes. Now look, there has been a lot of counterfeiting and a lot of fake knives that have come down the pike, and BenchMade has had to pay the high price. You know, people faking BenchMade knives, making imposters, if you will. And that means starting off with the boxes. Remember the little blue boxes that BenchMade came in, or the gold series or the black series or whatever have you? Yeah, they were counterfeiting. These counterfeit people were even counterfeiting the boxes. I got news for you. They're going to have fun with this guy right here. Look at that. Look at the size of this. I'll tell you what this is. It's 12 inches long and 4.75 inches wide, I think. I measured it when I first got these knives in. But what you got, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. You got some coating right there. See it? Okay. You got some more coating right there. And while before I forget about this, on the blade itself, you got some very small fawning. Yeah, these imposters are going to have a heck of a time, starting right with the boxes. Simple as that. You know, what we got going on with this box here is a flip-top lid, okay? See that? Sure you do. It's magnetic, okay? Magnetic, and you get you get one of these little propaganda sheets here, and one of these is tucked into the clip, if you will, behind the clip. And what else have we got going on here? Well, let me see. Well, yeah, all right there. I wanted to show you that. There's more coating right there. Okay, now this this box is very, very loud. It's a kind of a reddish, orangish, and mango type thing going on here. So it's a big box. It says, "Look at me. I want to be noticed." Now, if you hate BenchMade, can't help you. Can't help you. I'll pray for you, okay? Just kidding, you know. But anyway, this is what this little bit of text and stuff looks like. So there you are with that. And I got two of them. They're exactly the same because, like I say, I've got the big Adira, A-D-I-R-A, Adira, and I've got the little guy. These boxes are just the same. Let me get this right here. See? They're just the same. Now, BenchMade has got a whole series of knives. They call them water knives. You've probably seen that when I had that sleeve off. And they got a whole bunch. They got some fixed blades and some other knives. But these are the folders in that water series. Okay? And I have an idea that BenchMade's other series of knives, other categories, are probably going to come in boxes like this. But don't quote me on that, because I really don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just guessing, you know. But I figure what I'm basically doing here is trying to give BenchMade an attaboy if I can. It's just that simple. I don't want anything for myself. And, you know, like if you guys go ahead and buy BenchMade knives and you happen to get a bad one, well, don't blame me. But the way I was looking at things when I got these knives, there was nothing bad about the Mini Adira, and there was nothing bad about the bigger one. You know, honest engine. You know, so there you are. Okay, let me have a little drink here. Come on, you guys all drink. Yeah, I like fish. I know. I got a dry mouth. Okay. Now, this is just a show and tell kind of a thing here. You can read all the stats off the internet. You know, I'm not kidding you. This slows me up having to go, well, it's got this kind of a blade, you know, all that kind of stuff. Read it for yourself. We do have Magna Cut steel, and we got some action going on with these knives I really like. Okay, here they are. I'm wasting time. I'm burning daylight. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, This is the little guy right here. And by the way, oh, I don't even know what I did. They come with an orange lanyard. I don't see them here anywhere. I don't see my orange lanyard here anywhere. But I put my own lanyard on here. It's a custom built lanyard. I have a fellow in Texas by the name of Angel Galindez that has ELE Survival, and he builds these lanyards for me. Anyway, here's the big guy right here, and the custom lanyard on there. I don't know if you're digging that, but I am. These are really nice knives. I was kidding a friend of mine that I was betting him that I could take an elk apart with just these two knives. Did you catch me? Elk are very big animals. Well, I kind of backed off from that because this blade right here is only a 4, or not. It's not even 4. It's what is it? 3.8, 3.6 inches, something like that. You know. So it's a little. These knives are a little bit small for butchering elk, but in a pinch I could do it. Are you following me? In a pinch I could do it. And these knives work very, very well. The axis pivot and lockup right here is very, very good, if you will. And basically what we've got here is this knife right here is just a bigger copy of this knife right here. There are some things that, like the clips are the same. I've noticed that the thumb rests are the same and all that, but naturally, the body is going to be longer, the blade's going to be bigger, and all that other stuff, you know. The blade on this, like I say, is 3.8. It's under 4 inches. I really like that. That thing really fires out of there. It's real nice. Oh boy. Got some action going with my doggone computer here. You know, I hate Windows. You know what I mean, guys? You know, I have a MacBook Pro. I'm not even, you know, I don't even know if I like that, but I use a lot of Linux stuff, you know? Yeah, that kind of thing, you know. Android is the word I was looking at. Anyway, here is the small Adira. I got to make sure, that name kind of escapes me sometimes. But this knife right here has got a very nice, well, you know what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, so I can regroup here and all of that stuff, is I'm going to shut this clip off here, catch my breath, if you will, and then continue on, okay? You know, agree with that, you know. And by the way, if you're looking for something to do, you know, sign up for my program. Give me a dislike, a thumbs down, whatever. I shall return. You know what I mean? Sure you do. Okay, while I was taking my break here, I found these lanyards that comes with. Each one of these knives comes with an orange lanyard, and they have orange thumb studs, which I don't really like that also. That's the only thing about this set of knives that I didn't particularly care for, was this orange business. So off of Amazon, I got me some thumb studs there, or thumb screws, whatever they call them. I got some titanium blue ones, you know. And then, of course, I put my own lanyards on here, if you will. But yeah, you'll get a couple of, you know, you'll get a lanyard and all that stuff. So, okay, now let me get right down into the meat of this. Let me grab like I say, this is the smaller one. I got to make sure I visually can do this for those people that really want to know about these knives. There's the bigger one right there, on the top, and the one down below is the smaller one. So you can see the size difference. Is it a big size difference? Well, yeah, I would say so. You know, on this Mini Adira, the blade is 3.1 or 3.2 inches long, okay? But let me just retire the small one. Like I say, the big one is just a copy of the small one. The small one is just a copy of the big one, okay? But let me use this bigger one here and go on this thing real quick, start talking about this. Okay, this is that grivery material on the scales. The material that people don't like. I mean, I've read it over and over again. Oh, it's flimsy. It'll break. It'll this. No, it won't. This bribery on this, the way they've got it. Okay, on the inside here, on the bribery scales, they've got ribbing put all throughout the knife, so it really strengthens this, you know. And I just don't see where this bribery is going to, you know, is going to cause the knife to be weak or anything. I mean, what I'm saying is these handles are very, very tough, okay? And then back here, you got 3 inches of aluminum back spacing here, or rear spacing, if you can see that. There's 3 inches and there's 2.5 on the small one. Why do I know that? Because I measured it with a tape measure. Okay, and right here, okay, you don't have internal scaling all the way through this knife. You got partial scaling, if you will, but right in here, there's 2 plates on each side that basically extend right to this rear backbone here, if you will. So I am giving testimony that these knives here, I am betting you could take a 300-pound man and have him stomp on these knives with his heel, and I doubt like hell that you could break these bodies. I'm serious about what I just said. Okay, this blade right here is what you see is what you get. It's magna cut, okay? We've got a drop point here. We've got some nice jimping up here. Got a little tiny choil area here. BenchMade could have made that a little bit bigger, but that's all right. And the grip on this knife is very good. Very, very good. And same with this smaller guy. You know, I've been waving the big one around a lot, but they both fire out. They both open up very, very well, very, very quick. No kidding. But the grip on this guy is good too. It's not quite as good as the bigger one, but it's good. No complaints from me, anyway, you know. So you've got partial scaling on the inside. No big deal there. The reason why I say is it's just not full scaling across, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, this stuff is tough. You know, you can squeeze it all day long and it ain't going anywhere. This bigger one has a little tiny bit of give to it, but hey, not much. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, right here, there's a lot of grippage. You know, this area right here has been razzed or whatever they call it, you know, so you got some grip that way, and same with right there. If you can see along the sides. And let me see here. Oh yeah, the clip is reversible. The clip isn't nothing to holler about, but it is a deep carry clip. It doesn't seem like it's going to fall apart or anything like that. And oh yeah, okay. There's no bearings in here. There's washers in there in this pivot area. I could see them. Phosphorus bronze, I think, is what they call that. But like I say, there's no. I'm not doing any tricks here when I flick this knife open. What you're seeing me do here is the real deal. And so, you know, for all you guys that are fidget freaks, so to speak, don't get mad. I'm just kidding you. You know, if you guys are a little on the nervous side, well, these things, they flick open quite well, you know. Same with this little guy here. I know I've showed you that. But that's one thing I notice. When people do these review videos, they sit there and go like this. You know, just keep going on and on and on. What's up with that? You know, I mean, the knife either opens good or it doesn't, you know. Opens well, excuse me. Okay. Yeah. I think I probably mouthed this to death, but you know, I'm giving these two knives. These are the two best knives that BenchMade has made, and that's come down the pike in quite a few years, in my humble opinion. I have a few more BenchMade knives. Probably the one I really like a lot is the 940. You know, the the Osborne. You know, that's a very, very famous knife. So, you know. But anyway, I don't know what else to say. All you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is just read this for yourself. I'm mostly just saying that I really like these knives and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to look this over and come back. I hope you guys had a little break there. Like, I'm going to take another one here real quick, like, and then I'll close out, okay? I'm going to look these over and see if there's anything that I've forgotten. Oh, yeah, of course, this pivot, this lockup right here is that famous axis lock, and it works very, very well. Now, I realize in the past there's been troubles with those Omega springs, I think they call them. I'm not sure what kind of springs they've got in here, but I just know that these two knives fire, they open very, very well. Okay? Okay, let me just bug out of here for a second and I shall return. Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I better do is shut my fly trap here and get gone. Yeah, but that's the deal. That's the deal on these knives here. I looked over my notes here, and I don't exactly know what I'm forgetting, except for I didn't read off all the technical specs and everything. You can do that, you know. You probably could read better than me anyway. But yeah, let me just hold these up one more time. I like these knives. They're coming, like I say, they come out of the BenchMade's Water series, you know. BenchMade has got like hunting, cutlery, custom, water, and like, you know, they broke their knives up into categories, you know, which I think is pretty good of a BenchMade, you know. Like I say, when it comes to these two knives right here and the boxing that they come in, counterfeiters are going to have some fun with these knives here. That's what I do know. That just thrills me plumb to death because, you know, I pretty much liked BenchMade throughout the years. You know, I was well aware that they were having problems. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I shall see you on down the trail, and I must bid you adios and, you know, all that good stuff, you know. So, you know, I hope you have a fine evening, a better tomorrow, etc., etc. Adios, my friends. Boop.